The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland competed as Great Britain in the 2010 Winter Olympics held in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The United Kingdom was represented by the British Olympic Association, and the team of selected athletes was officially known as Team GB. The team was made up of athletes from the whole United Kingdom, including Northern Ireland, whose athletes may elect to hold Irish citizenship, allowing them to represent either Great Britain or Ireland. Additionally, some British overseas territories compete separately from Britain in Olympic competition. Great Britain sent a delegation of 50 athletes to compete in 11 sports and were led by Andy Hunter's chef de mission. But despite being set a target of 3 medals by UK Sport, the team won just one Amy Williams gold in the women's skeleton, and finished 19th in the medal table. Medalists: the following British competitors won medals at the Games. In the discipline sections below, medalists' names are in bold. All results are taken from the official Vancouver 2010 website. Targets: UK Sport, the organisation responsible for distributing national lottery funding to elite sport, set Team GB a target of winning 3 medals of any colour at the Vancouver Games, 2 more than the single silver medal won in Turin by Shelley Rudman. If achieved, this would have been the best performance by a British Winter Olympics team since 1936, when a gold, silver and bronze medal were won. The target was set following £6.5 million of funding in the 4 years leading up to the Games, whilst no particular events were targeted as potential sources of medals. The success of British athletes in the previous 4 years was taken into account when setting the target. The men's curling team and the 2-woman bobsleigh team, Nicola Minichiello and Gillian Cook, won world championships, and in 2008 Kristen Bromley became the first man in the history of bobskeleton to win the World Championship, European Championship and World Cup in the same year. The preparations of Britain's skiers and snowboarders for the Games were hampered by the financial problems of the British Ski and Snowboard Federation, operating under the name Snowsport GB, which was responsible for administering the lottery funds received through UK Sport. In August 2009, the BSFF was £300,000 in debt, and a number of British skiers, including medal hope Shemi Olcott, were forced to fund their own summer training camps in New Zealand and Chile. On the 5th of February 2010, just a week before the opening ceremony of the Games, it was announced that BSSF had entered administration after the Royal Bank of Scotland withdrew the organisation's overdraft facility. This put the participation of British skiers in doubt, as a governing body, as a necessity for Olympic competition. But the British Olympic Association revived a subsidiary company to take over. The financial difficulties suffered by Olcott, partly as a result of the BSSF collapse, led her to consider her future in the sport at the end of the Games. On the 25th of February, having finished 19th overall in the medal table, and 14th out of European countries, head of Team GB Andy Hunt said that despite not reaching UK Sport's target, the team have achieved what we set out to do by bettering their performance in the 2006 Games. This was in reference to Amy Williams' gold in the women's skeleton, which was the sole medal won by the team. Steve Redgrave, vice president of the BOA, added, "I don't think there is a sense of disappointment. I think there is a sense of celebration of winning that gold medal. I would take 1 gold medal over 5 bronze medals any day." Hunt also announced that the BOA would conduct a strategic review of funding and may support the channeling of more funds towards realistic medal hopes. Alpine skiing. 4 British athletes competed in alpine skiing events at the Games. Andy Noble and David Ryding qualified for 2 events each, whilst Ed Drake and Shemi Olcott, taking part in her 3rd Olympics, qualified for all 5 variants. The preparations of Britain's skiers were disrupted by the collapse of Snowsport GB, but all athletes were able to enter the Games after the intervention of the British Olympic Association. Olcott, considered a realistic contender for a medal, achieved the squad's best finish, coming 11th in the women's combined men-women biathlon. Britain sent a single biathlete to the Games. Steve Jackson was the first British competitor to qualify for the Olympic pursuit and finished in 56th position. He also took part in the individual and sprint events. Bobsleigh. Britain sent 8 athletes to compete in the bobsleigh events, with entries in the 2-man, 4-man and 2-woman competitions. Alan Condon competed in the 4-man event, having previously taken part in the 4x100 meters relay at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, the first Briton to take part in both the Summer and Winter Games since Mark Adam. In the 2-man, the British pairing of Dan Money and John Jackson suffered a crash on the first run. They escaped serious injury, but were disqualified for failing to complete the run. Nicola Minichiello and Gillian Cook went into the 2-woman event as the reigning world champions, and after 2 of 4 runs were placed 10th, 1 position ahead of Paula Walker and Kelly Thomas. On the 3rd run, Minichiello and Cook lost control, resulting in them crossing the finishing line with the sled on its side, and the pair withdrew from the competition before the final run. Cumulative time and standings given in brackets. Cross-country skiing. 3 British cross-country skiers went to the Games. All 3 were competing in the first Olympics. Andrew Young and Andrew Musgrave, aged 17 and 19, entered the team sprint in addition to their individual events, but were forced to withdraw as Young, suffering from a cold, was unable to complete his leg. Men-women curling. Curling events at the 2010 Winter Olympics were in the form of a round-robin tournament. Each nation played all others in a group stage, with the top 4 qualifying for medal playoffs. The men's team, the reigning world champions, won group stage games against France, Denmark, China, United States and Germany. These 5 wins left them in a tie for the last semi-final place with Sweden, who beat them in the group game. A single tiebreaker match was played between the 2 sides, which was won by the Swedes in the first extra end. The women's team, skipped by 19-year-old Eve Muirhead, entered the tournament ranked 7th in the world and beat world champions China in their opening match, but won just 2 of the remaining 8 games to finish 7th in the group and miss out on the semi-finals. Men's tournament. Men's team: Lockerbie CC, Lockerbie skip David Murdoch, 3rd Ewan MacDonald, 2nd Peter Smith, lead Ewan Byers, alternate Graham Connell. Results: round robin tiebreaker. Having finished level with Sweden with 5 wins, Great Britain faced a single match tiebreaker to decide who advanced to the semi-finals. Standings: women's tournament. Women's team skip Eve Muirhead, 3rd Jackie Lockhart, 2nd Kelly Wood, lead Lorna Vivas, alternate Anne Laird. Results: standings. Figure skating. Great Britain had qualified 7 athletes, 1 in ladies singles, 1 pair in the pairs skating, and 2 pairs in ice dancing. The team was announced as Jenna McCorkle in the ladies singles, Stacey Kemp and David King in the pairs, and in the ice dancing Sinead Kerr and John Kerr, and Penny Coombs and Nicholas Buckland. Brother and sister pairing Sinead and John Kerr were considered medal contenders before the Games, as they entered the event ranked 5th in the world. The pair, who came 3rd in the 2009 European Championships, went on to finish 8th. Freestyle skiing. 3 British women competed in freestyle skiing events, one each in the aerials, moguls and ski cross. Sarah Sovey became the first Briton to compete in Olympic ski cross as the sport was making its debut in Vancouver. She finished 34th in the qualifying rounds, missing out on the medal rounds by 2 places. Women's aerials and moguls. Women's ski cross luge. Britain's sole competitor in luge was Adam Rosen, an American-born athlete who had previously competed at the 2006 Games. The 25-year-old's 16th place finish equaled his performance in Turin and was just 1 place off of the highest Winter Olympic finish by any British luger. Cumulative time and standings given in brackets. Short track speed skating. Britain qualified 6 athletes in individual short track speed skating events. In the men's events, 4 skaters competed, with Anthony Douglas and John Ely each racing at 2 distances. A team also qualified for the relay event. Ely achieved the squad's best individual finish, coming 6th in 500 meters, a position matched by the relay team. In the women's events, Elise Christie raced in the 500, 1000 and 1500 meters, and Sarah Lindsay also took part in the 500 meters but was disqualified in her heat following a clash with Canada's Jessica Gregg. Men/women. Q equals qualified for next round. B equals qualified for B final. Skeleton. 4 British athletes qualified for the skeleton events. Amy Williams won Britain's only medal of the Games, a gold in the women's skeleton. Williams became the first British gold medalist in an individual event at the Winter Olympics for 30 years, following Robin Cousins' victory in figure skating at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, and the first British female individual Winter Olympics gold medalist since Jeanette Altwegg in 1952. Shelley Rudman, Britain's only medalist at the 2006 Olympics, finished 6th in the women's event, and her fiancé, Kristen Bromley, finished in the same position in the men's event. Cumulative time and standings given in brackets. New track records. Snowboarding. 4 British snowboarders qualified for the Games. Ben Kilner qualified 7th and progressed through the semi-finals, however finished 18th in the final for the men's halfpipe. Reserve Marcijan Harasimov crashed on his second run and did not advance due to injury. Zoe Gillings reached the semi-finals of the women's snowboard cross and finished in 8th position overall.